In today's video, we're going to continue our 2018 NHL Prospect Report series, where we cover all 31 NHL teams and complete an in-depth analysis of their complete prospect pools, including their full 2018 NHL Draft selections. We have a special guest joining us today, and we're talking about the Calgary Flames. And that's coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams, so if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So as I mentioned off the top here, today we're discussing the Calgary Flames prospects. We're going to go over the top 6 prospects currently in the Calgary Flames organization, and then at the end of the video we're going to complete a summary here of all their 2018 NHL Draft selections. So as I mentioned before, we do have a special guest joining us today. His name is Auddie James. He runs another hockey YouTube channel here that you might already be familiar with. So I hope you welcome Auddie and check out his channel. His link is down below in the description. I highly recommend, once you're done watching this video, that you go check out his channel and certainly consider subscribing. So we're going to maintain the format here we've had with other collaboration type prospect videos, where we're going to go back and forth and take turns discussing prospects, and we're going to cover the top 6 in the organization. So I'm going to get started here with the number 6 prospect for the Calgary Flames, who we feel is currently Andrew Mangiapane. Mangiapane was a 2015 draft selection. It was a later round pick, number 166 overall. Mangiapane's not a big guy. He's about 5'10", 180 pounds, but he certainly knows how to put the puck in the net. He played his junior hockey in the Ontario Hockey League for the Barrie Colts. In his last 2 seasons playing junior, he put up back-to-back 100-point seasons, which is incredibly impressive even for that league. So the guy knows how to score. He's now completed 2 pro seasons, mostly playing at the American Hockey League level. In his first pro season back in 16-17, he put up 20 goals and 21 assists for a very impressive first pro season. He then followed that up in 17-18 season with 46 points in 38 games at the American Hockey League level, earning himself a call-up to the NHL. He then got into some brief action here with the Calgary Flames, but unfortunately wasn't really able to get himself on the score sheet. His season was cut short due to a shoulder injury that ended up requiring surgery, but he will be back in action and ready for the start of training camp of this season. So as you can see, based on his statistics here, Mangiapane is a very creative, offensively gifted forward. Certainly has potential to be a top 9 forward and to play in the top 3 lines for sure. Certainly deserves a look on the power play. Based on his last 2 pro seasons and what he's done at the American Hockey League level, I would not be surprised to see him get an opportunity this year with the Flames. He may or may not make the team at a training camp, as they did make some other signings this offseason, which is going to kind of push him down the depth chart a little bit. But certainly I do suspect at the very least he will get some action more than last year, more than likely. If he can stay healthy and keep producing the way he has, he's only going to get more and more opportunity here over this year and next, till he can finally hopefully get himself to be a regular NHL player.
Hey guys, it's Auddie James here. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my buddy Mike for allowing me to be a part of this video. Like I told him before, I really like talking prospects and I like talking Calgary Flames, so why not combine the two and talk about some Calgary Flames prospects? When he came to me with the idea, I was over the moon, so let's get started. I've got 3 guys that I'm going to talk about. I'm sure Mike has already explained it, but I'm going to start out with none other than Spencer Foo. So the 24-year-old Edmonton, Alberta native was a very hot topic when his college days down at Union College in New York came to an end. The undrafted stud essentially drew interest from several teams, including his hometown of Edmonton, but in the end, the kid liked the direction that the Flames were going at the time and ended up signing with them in the summer of 2017. So understanding that the Flames were pretty much set, I guess, at the time with their bottom 6 going into the 17-18 season, Foo began the year in the AHL with Stockton. So their AHL team is the Stockton Heat, obviously, so he started his season down there. In 62 games played, he recorded 20 goals and 19 assists, which was good for 39 points on the campaign of the year. So at the end of the season, the Flames called up Foo to play in, I think it was 4 games. I guess it was due to pretty much an astronomical amount of injuries to conclude the year for the Flames. So in those games, he recorded 2 goals and finished those as a +1. So I guess 4 games played in the National Hockey League, and recording 2 goals is not a bad feat at all. So, but here's the bottom line about Spencer Foo. He really isn't that dynamic. He's just a really, really hard worker. He gets to the gritty areas of the ice and tends to outwork guys when he's there. That's it. He's the master of the little things, winning battles. He's a good skater. He's really fast and very tough both on and off the puck, which is a good thing to have there. I think he has good upside as a third liner. At least he's a very hard worker, and I think he will earn himself a spot on an NHL roster. But my projection for Spencer Foo is that he's going to start out the year in the bottom 6, more than likely on the third line. Essentially, with the buyout of Troy Brouwer, there's a vacancy on that fourth line, so we can anticipate the line to pretty much look like Foo on the left side, Jankowski down the middle, and Austin Czarnik on the right side. So he may potentially see some penalty kill time, as well as, you know, we've seen him in penalty kill situations before. So there's my synopsis on Spencer Foo.
Next up, we have the 2015 second-round selection from Sweden, right-shot defenseman Rasmus Anderson. Anderson's got pretty good size. He's 6'1", 215 pounds. Even though he's from Sweden, he did play a couple seasons of junior hockey in the OHL with the Barrie Colts. So yes, he was indeed a teammate, a fellow prospect here, Andrew Mangiapane, that we just spoke about. So obviously those two guys know each other rather well, playing in junior, now playing at the American Hockey League level, and trying to work their way up to be regular NHL players. Now Anderson has the projections to be a top 4 defenseman, possibly a top 2, but I'd say top 4 is reasonably safe. He's a very gifted offensive defenseman, really good at joining the rush. He has a big booming slap shot from the blue line, which is certainly going to come in handy on the power play. He could certainly have the potential to be a power play quarterback here, but not only is he good in those situations, but he's excellent on the rush. He's very smart with his passes as well. He's a great first pass out of the zone, great at joining the rush afterwards, so he's very creative offensively. Certainly needs to continue working on his defensive game, but it certainly has made improvements during his couple pro seasons now that he's had a chance to play at the American Hockey League level. So far during his time in the AHL, he's played in 110 games, gotten over 60 points. So as you can see, the offense is certainly translating to that league, and he's gotten some NHL action under his belt as well. But like Mangiapane, he was given a brief look last year, had a chance to get his feet wet, didn't put up any points, but certainly the Flames are not in a big hurry to rush him here. They want to take their time and make sure he's ready. He needs to continue to get stronger as well, which is something obviously a lot of younger players need to do, especially defenders, to be more effective in their own end and work on their defensive game. I certainly do think Rasmus Anderson will probably get more opportunity in Calgary this year than he did last, but I do think it's quite possible that it's likely one more year before he's a regular and plays in the NHL on a day-to-day basis.
Next up, let's talk about Captain Canada at the World Juniors, Dillon Dube. So the 20-year-old Golden Alberta native has yet to see any NHL time, but has a proven track record last year in Kelowna and the World Juniors, which could essentially earn him a spot on this year's roster. He was drafted 56th overall in the 2016 NHL entry draft, and he returned to the Kelowna Rockets since then and put up an impressive 139 points in 93 games as a Kelowna Rocket. He also had the honors of being named the captain of Team Canada in the 2018 World Juniors, where he posted 5 points in 7 games. After that season, Dube was called up to play for Stockton and put up 4 points in 6 games to conclude his work in 2017-2018. As far as Dube is concerned, he's their best forward prospect outside of pro hockey. With Calgary not picking in the first 3 rounds of the 2018 draft, I don't think there's any roadblocks for him in terms of having an impact in the NHL down the line. I think it's safe to say the projection of a second or third line forward is still holding strong. However, I don't think he'll have a top 6 role this year with the depth pieces that Calgary has added in James Neal, even Lindholm, Derek Ryan, guys like that. But the good thing about Dillon Dube is that he's versatile in the sense that he can play on the wing and down. He can play center as well, win faceoffs and whatnot. So that's good for him. So if there ever is an opportunity, then he should probably take it, and the Flames should probably give him a chance. But anyway, that's all I got on Dillon Dube.
The next prospect I'm going to talk about here is goaltender Ty Parsons. Now, Parsons was a 2016 second-round selection, also taken out of the OHL from the London Knights program. Parsons had a tremendous junior career, putting up some incredible stats in the Ontario Hockey League, and actually helped lead London to the Memorial Cup in 2016. 17-18 season was his first pro season, and he played between the East Coast League and the American Hockey League, mostly in the ECHL, but the Flames organization really wanted to make sure that they get him as much action as possible, and they wanted him to see as many pucks as possible. As they've said, which holds true here, when it comes to goalies development, obviously they take a little bit longer, and they also need to see the puck a lot, and they need to get into lots of games to really help develop their game and hone their skills. Now, Parsons is an incredibly athletic goalie. He does draw some comparisons to Jonathan Quick. Time will only tell if he ever becomes that good, but I guess if there's an NHL goaltender that you could kind of look at and draw some comparisons on, I think Quick would be the most likely to be compared to Parsons. Parsons is still quite young, and since he only has one pro season, with most of that becoming into East Coast League, I certainly think we're probably looking at about 2 more years before Parsons has a real shot at the NHL. But if you look at their current goaltending depth that they have right now with guys like John Gillies, David Rittich, and Mike Smith, obviously they're going to kind of hold down the fort here. We'll see how the Gillies develops. He might just be a starting goaltender who Parsons might have to compete with once he gets to that level here in a couple years' time. But personally, I think Parsons might even have more upside than Gillies here longer term. I think he has the potential to be a starting goalie in the NHL, and he has the potential to be a real solid starting goalie at that. So I think there's a good possibility here. Ty Parsons very well could be the Flames goalie of the future.
And last but not least, let's discuss one of the most NHL-ready prospects in Calgary's system in Juuso Valimaki. Drafted 16th overall in 2017, like Dube, Valamaki has yet to see any time at the NHL level. The Finnish native returned back to the Tri-City Americans after being drafted and went on to record 45 points in 43 games as a defenseman. Great numbers from a young stud. In the playoffs, he recorded another 17 points in only 12 games played, which caught the eye of Flames upper management. In this year's development camp, Valamaki stood out as the Flames' best prospect at camp, and I wouldn't be surprised if he cracks a spot in the big show this year. He's one of the best offensive defenseman prospects in the National Hockey League, and his composure and skating are already at the NHL level, so it's not going to be hard for him to transition in there. I think of him as the jack of all trades, pretty much taking advantage of open ice to draw opponents, creating space for teammates in the offensive zone. As it stands right now, though, with Brett Kulak earning a one-way contract through arbitration, things don't look too promising for Valamaki to start out the year with the Flames. But with rumors of a potential Michael Stone exit via trade, a spot could open up on that third pairing with Brett Kulak. And we could see Juuso make his Flames debut at some point during the year, so I wouldn't be surprised if potentially, later on in the year, maybe Valamaki gets called up to play on that third pairing, or if they do end up trading Michael Stone for whatever prospect or draft pick they may get from that, they can just bring Valamaki right in, and he can play on that third pairing with Brett Kulak. And with his potential, I think he could easily be a top D-man with the Flames and produce at a level that most teams could only hope for from a young player at that age. And that is what I have from Juuso Valimaki and my 3 prospects. So I would like to first and foremost thank Mike again for allowing me to be a part of this video. I love talking prospects. I love talking Calgary Flames. Being a Calgary native, I'm really enjoying these kind of collaborations. So thank you very much. My name's Auddie James. If you haven't checked out my channel, please go ahead and do so. Shameless little plug right here. At 1,000 subs, giving away a signed NHL jersey. So we're getting closer. If you want to check out my channel, Auddie James, I would appreciate it if you did. Again, thank you very much, Mike. Back to you, buddy.
So great job to Auddie James. Thanks very much for coming on. I really appreciate you taking some time to come and discuss these Flame prospects here with me today. So now that we've gone through all the top 6 prospects, I want to take a couple of minutes here and go through the 2018 NHL Draft selections. So I'm going to put up a full graphic here on the screen to show you the full summary of all their selections, and we're going to go through them here one by one. Now, the one thing about the Calgary Flames I'd like to see moving forward is I'd like to see them hold on to a little bit more of their picks. The earliest pick they had in the 2018 NHL Draft was in the 4th round, 105 overall. Obviously, you can't really get too many grade A prospects picking that late. They've made a lot of deals giving away a lot of early round draft picks. I'd like to see that trend change here in the next couple of years so they can really stockpile a little bit more of a higher end prospects. But anyways, let's take a look at what they have in from the 2018 draft. So their first pick was in the 4th round, number 105. They took a center iceman from the USHL, Martin Pospisil. Also in the 4th round, number 108 overall, they took a left winger, Dimitrios Koumontis. Also in the 4th round, number 122 overall, they took a center iceman from the Vancouver Giants, Milos Roman. In the 6th round, number 167th overall, they took another center iceman from the USHL, Emilio Pedersen. And last but not least, here in the 7th round, number 198 overall, from Rimouski in the QMJHL, left winger, Dmitry Zavgordini. So that's your full summary of the 2018 NHL Draft selections for the Calgary Flames. So as you can see here, they didn't have a lot of picks, but they did try to get a nice variety of players that could potentially become NHL players down the road. Hopefully out of these later round picks, they found, what they call like a diamond in the rough, because they didn't have any early round picks. So again, I'd like to see that hopefully change for this franchise moving forward so they can hold on to that and maybe get a little bit more of an elite prospect moving forward here. So leave some comments down below. Which of these Flames prospects are you most excited about, and which ones do you think are going to have the most impact on this franchise moving forward? If you're new to the channel here, I hope you consider subscribing. We cover all 31 NHL teams, and there's plenty of content here for all hockey fans to enjoy. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button as well. I'd really appreciate it if you did. As always, thank you very much for watching, everybody. We will catch you next time.